I'm Nintendo.
And I'm Sega.
This is Console Wars!
Oh, so what game do you want to look at?
I don't know. How about Earthworm Jim?
Nah.
Well, why not? It's a great game, and it could be a great episode.
Yeah, but the games are exactly the same. Comparing them would be pointless.
How could you say that?
Oh my goodness! It's my identical clones, Mac and Dennis! What are you guys doing here?
Not reviewing something because it looks the same.
Not reviewing something because it sounds the
We
same.
look the same.
We sound the same,
but
but we're not the same.
Review the game.
Do it for your family.
They're right. They're absolutely right. I was being so foolish. Thank you, brothers. Let's do Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. At its core is run-and-gun gameplay. However, many of the levels have completely different mechanics from one another. This gave the game variety not seen at the time. The game was developed almost as a satire to other platform games. It contains bizarre characters, levels, and atmosphere.
Earthworm Jim gained massive popularity with toys, comics, a Saturday morning cartoon, and many video game sequels. While the series fell flat with later sequels, the first game received an HD release on the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. Today, we're looking where the franchise started, Earthworm Jim on a Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. The games are very similar, almost identical, but there are some differences. Which game is better? Let's find out. So, the graphics for Super Nintendo are
Exactly the same as Sega's.
The characters look the same. And the levels look the same. Character animations look the same too.
When it comes to graphics, these games are the same.
Look deeper.
You guys are still here?
Wait a minute. I think I see something. Look at this background on Super Nintendo. And look at it on Sega. Talk about lazy.
Wait a minute! I think I see something too.
Look, this water level gets all wavy on Sega. Doesn't do that on Super Nintendo. And look how colorful this background is. It's kinda boring on Super Nintendo. Actually, if you look close enough, it looks like the Sega has better use of color. Even though they're very similar, with a slight edge, graphics go to Sega.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, presentation's the same for both games. Both games lack an intro or any cutscenes. They just have title cards before levels. They both have an ending, but it's exactly the same. I don't want to insult your clones here, but I think our presentation is pretty much the same.
Look deeper.
So, where'd you get the clones again?
The internet.
They're pretty good. You know what, I think I do spot a difference. When you start a level on Super Nintendo, the music from the level plays over the title card. In Sega, it plays a different song over the title card, then the music from the level. A subtle difference, but a difference nonetheless. Starting the music during the title card gets you pumped and ready for action ahead. Having the music play, stop, and play isn't as smooth. Plus I got this!
Earthworm Jim.
A tiny difference, but presentation goes to Super Nintendo. I think it's safe to say that both our games have the same music.
Yep,
So I guess we're gonna have to go to quality, right?
correct.
Gee, I wonder who's gonna win.
Actually, I think Sega has a chance. You know, the music kind of sounds pretty good. What was that?
I was just laughing at you so hard I needed to walk it off.
I'm serious. I think the Sega has better music.
Homie, that's impossible. Listen to Nintendo versus Sega. Nintendo's got some sweet slap bass. There's no slap here. The melody comes out clearer on Nintendo too. It doesn't sound as good on Sega.
Well, that's nothing. Nintendo might have more bass, but Sega's electronic sound is off the hook.
Listen how this electronic stuff gives the songs more of a kick. Sounds boring on Nintendo. Sega sounds more full and exciting. Nintendo sounds shallow and empty.
Well, maybe the music is subjective and it really depends on the personal taste of the individual.
Well, maybe I agree with that statement and say music should be a tie.
Oh, look deeper.
Hey, what is this, Inception?
I think they just want us to look at the sound effects. Am I reading that right?
Overall, Sega has better sound effects than Super Nintendo. Listen to the difference in the two endings. It's like Super Nintendo couldn't handle all the sound. While the music may be subjective, there's no denying that the sound effects are better on Sega. Best sound goes to Sega.
Hey, it looks like the gameplay is the same in both games, too. You got your running and gunning, you got your whip, you can jump, swing, helicopter, bungee, and race. When it comes to gameplay, these games are identical.
Look deeper.
They're still here?
Oh, they'll never leave. They'd stay even if you put on something like Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Regardless, looking deep is not going to help. Our games are completely the same. All 7 levels.
Wait a minute, did you say 7 levels? Because the Sega game has 8 levels. And if Super Nintendo only has 7 levels, the Super Nintendo's missing a level!
Super Nintendo's missing a level, not giving you the full Earthworm Jim experience the creator initially intended. Well, that's like Super Mario 3 and no Big World, Sonic and no bonus stage, Zelda and no water temple, Mega Man and no Quick Man, Metal Gear and no skateboarding. Wait, the point is, Super Nintendo game is incomplete, so best gameplay goes to Sega.
While both games are very similar, almost identical even, Earthworm Jim on Sega Genesis is the better game.
It's got slightly better graphics, better sound effects, and a whole level missing on the Super Nintendo. Oh, and here's a bit of trivia. Turns out, when the game was re-released on the Wii U, they re-released the Sega version of the game. Nintendo chose the Sega version over their own Super Nintendo game. Both games are very similar, but one's better. Best Earthworm Jim game goes to Sega. Groovy!